What is up, fellas? How we doing, baby? We got Monday Night Football tonight. We got the Lions and the Packers. As always, guys, for the next 30 to 45 minutes, if you have any questions about tonight's Showdown slate, if you have any lineup-specific questions, go ahead and start throwing those in chat. I'm going to try and answer everyone's questions over the next 30 to 45 minutes. Talk through the slate with you guys, kind of let you know how I'm planning to approach it, how I'm kind of building out my lineups, and obviously talk with you guys, see what your thoughts are as well. But Victor, what's up, my man? I took down on the UFC this weekend, tied with a bunch of people, though still got a good hit. Hey, congratulations, Victor. I've never been into UFC. I've never done UFC before, but congratulations, man. I know UFC, like the roster build, like there's always a bunch of ties in UFC. It's kind of like Showdown, I'm pretty sure. What's up, Noah? Hope you did well yesterday. Favorite captain tonight? I mean, Devonte Adams is right now projecting to be the highest owned captain, but overall, he's probably got to be my favorite captain. Just because, you know, the upside that Devonte Adams has, the massive targets that he should get, especially in a good matchup like this against a bad, Lions secondary. Like, the Lions already had a bad secondary, and I think they lost, like, their best corner last week. So, yeah, Devonte Adams has to be my favorite captain. Even though he's going to be popular, I'll be playing a lot of him. I didn't do that well yesterday. I took a small loss. I played 150 lineups on Yahoo. I had like 2,200 in play, and I got like 2K back. So I lost like $200, but it is what it is. We move on to the next day. I just didn't have enough of the low-owned guys that you needed. You know, Derrick Henry. I didn't have enough Derrick Henry. I didn't have enough Kyler Murray. I had too much of the Chargers-Cowboys game. That was where I messed up yesterday. What's up, Noah? Hope you had a good weekend. Let's get that money tonight. Let's get it, Patrick. Let's get it, my man. Hope you had a good weekend as well. Who's the captain for today? I really like Rodgers. I mean, yeah, Rodgers. I don't know if I'm going to be playing Rodgers at captain, but I think pairing him with Devonte Adams, playing Devonte Adams at captain, that's kind of the way I'm going. You know, if I was playing one lineup on this Showdown slate, I probably would be playing Devonte Adams at captain, I think. A lot of my captain exposure is going to be Packers. So it's going to be Devonte Adams, Aaron Jones, maybe Aaron Rodgers, but especially those two guys. Like, the only Lions I think I would be playing at captain would probably be Deandre Swift. Maybe you could play TJ Hawkinson at captain, but I think a large majority of my captain exposure is going to go to Packers on this slate, just because, you know, you expect the Packers to put up a ton of points here. They got like a 30 implied team total, I'm pretty sure. Is Robert Tonyan a good play? I mean, Robert Tonyan should be somewhat low owned. I don't have that much interest in Robert Tonyan at his price tag. He's kind of like touchdown or bust. I mean, if Robert Tonyan doesn't score a touchdown or multiple touchdowns, he's probably only going to score like single-digit DK points. So if you want to play Robert Tonyan, just hope he gets a couple touchdowns. Fine, but I don't have that much interest in him. Like, I would rather get up to Deandre Swift or just go cheaper and play some of these cheap Lions receivers that, you know, we talked about in my video and we'll probably talk more about in the stream. What do you think about Cephas at captain? I don't think I would do that, Kyle. I mean, it's going to be super contrarian. Like, Quintus Cephas, his captain ownership right now is, let me see. It is, let's see. It literally might be 0. 1.2%. I mean, Quintus Cephas is going to be really low owned at captain. He is like I think he's a speed guy, though. Like, he's got a lot of speed, I'm pretty sure. So he could always, like, you know, break off a long touchdown catch. But I don't think I'd be playing him at captain. I just don't know if he has the upside. For him to be the winning captain, like, you're going to need a lot to go right. Andrea, thank you for becoming a VIP member. Appreciate the additional support. You'll have a little VIP badge next to your name. I always try and answer everyone's questions, but I do try and, you know, kind of prioritize my VIP members. So thank you for becoming a member. Would you play Swift or Jamal Williams? Between the two, I definitely prefer Deandre Swift. Deandre Swift, he projects, like, way better. Like, he's got the projections that I use. He's projected for almost 7 more points than Jamal Williams is. And even, like, the usage last week, it was so much better for Deandre Swift. Deandre Swift played 68% of the snaps. Jamal Williams only played 35%. I know Jamal Williams had a good game last week, but he's the backup. He's a backup running back. He's going to play like 30-40% of the snaps. He'll probably get 8 to 10 touches, maybe more, if they, you know, are trailing and want to use him in the passing game. But I think Jamal Williams is probably too expensive to use on this slate, personally. I mean, $7,200 for a backup running back. It's really hard to pay that price. Yeah, it's a revenge game, but I'm not playing Jamal Williams. Just too expensive. Who's a favorable play from the Lions? I mean, I think the Lions, they're going to have to throw a ton in this game. I think they're going to be playing from behind. So, Jared Goff I have interest in just because I expect him to have to throw the ball a ton. TJ Hawkinson should probably get close to double-digit targets. He's a little expensive, but I think TJ Hawkinson's a good option. I like Deandre Swift a lot. Deandre Swift was heavily utilized in Week 1. Got 11 carries, got 11 targets as well. Even if the Lions get behind, which is very likely, they're still going to use DeAndre Swift a lot in the passing game. So him, Jared Goff are probably like my two favorite kind of upper tier plays from the Lions. But the Lions are the team I think we can look to for value. Like, they got a lot of cheap guys that are in play. We're still waiting on actives and inactives. Khalif Raymond, I assume, will be active. He might be their wide receiver 1 for this game with Jamal Williams out. He's 4,400. You got Quintus Cephas at 3,800. Amon St. Brown, really like him for value. He's only 2,400. He played I think over 60% of the snaps last week. Let me see. Or Quintus Cephas only played 35% of the snaps, but that was with Tyrell Williams playing 42%. Yeah, so without Tyrell Williams, I think Amon St. Brown, Quintus Cephas, like both those guys see a boost in playing time. Or it was Quintus Cephas played 35% of the snaps last week. St. Brown played 64%. But really, all these cheap Lions receivers, I mean, none of them are very good, but they're going to get targets because the Lions are just going to have to throw a ton. So all these guys you can mix and match, in my opinion. You think playing both quarterbacks with a cheap captain would be good? I mean, I don't think you really need to go cheap at captain because you can fit both quarterbacks pretty easily, with how cheap all these Lions receivers are. Like, even Trinity Benson for 1K, I mean, he got 6 targets last week, played on 53% of the snaps, and now Tyrell Williams is out. So, I mean, Trinity Benson's probably going to play 60-70% of the snaps. He might get 4 or 5 targets. He's only 1K. I mean, there's a plenty of value. You got St. Brown for 2,400. You don't really need to go cheap at captain on this slate, at least not in my opinion. I won 564 on a 7-pick teaser this weekend, my best weekend in a while. Hey, congratulations, man. That's awesome. Any good prize picks? There's a few prize picks I like for tonight. I did give out Jared Goff over on his passing yards. I'm seeing a lot of people on his under, but I still like the over on Jared Goff passing yards because I think the Lions are going to have to throw the ball a ton to keep up because they're going to be playing from behind in this game. So I like over on Jared Goff's passing yards, and then the other one I think it was DeAndre Swift receiving yards. It's gone up a little bit, but 28.5 receiving yards for DeAndre Swift. Again, he got 11 targets last week. They're going to use him in the passing game. He might get 8-10 targets again, 28.5 receiving yards. He can easily go over that if they use him as much in the passing game as they did last week. So those are 2 picks I kind of like on prize picks. I gave a few more out to Patreon members, but these are definitely 2 I'm pretty high on right now. And you could do a 2-pick power play or a flex play with these if you wanted to. There's a couple more that I kind of like Devonte Adams, his over on receiving yards. I like that. You could add that one too. You want to do a 3-pick power, but don't want to give out too much because I do hold some stuff for Patreon members. Patrick, $5 super chat. Appreciate the great content you provide, plus doing the Showdown live streams. Good luck tonight. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you for the $5 super chat, my man. Appreciate your support as always, and good luck to you as well. You think Adams gets 100 yards? I mean, it's very possible. I would not be surprised if Devonte Adams puts up 8 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns tonight. I mean, the Lions, I don't think, are really going to have an answer for him. It's just a matter of, if the Lions can keep the game close enough to where the Packers are throwing in the 4th quarter. That's the only concern I have, I guess. I want to learn how come you wouldn't make Rodgers captain. Just because normally I would say quarterbacks at captain, quarterbacks don't have the 35 point upside the receivers do. So for example, if Aaron Rodgers throws 3 touchdowns tonight, obviously he's going to have a good game. But there's a good possibility that he throws 3 touchdowns and all 3 of those touchdowns go to Devonte Adams. And if Devonte Adams has 3 receiving touchdowns, you're going to want him at captain instead of Aaron Rodgers. Quarterbacks at captain are normally safe. So if you play cash games, yeah, normally you probably would play quarterbacks at captain because they give you a high floor. But for tournaments, when you're looking for that ceiling, you're looking for that super high scoring game or super high scoring outcome. You're looking for receivers and running backs too. $5 super chat from Victor. Man, you guys are killing it today with all these super chats. Jesus. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, Victor. Thank you for the $5 super chat, my man. MVS at captain. I don't think I would be doing that unless I was playing like a lot of lineups. Like if you're playing 150 lineups, yeah, you could have some MVS at captain. But if I'm only playing like a handful of lineups, I doubt he makes my captain pool. But I would assume he's gonna be really low owned at captain. Let's see. MVS coming in with 4.5% ownership at the captain spot. I mean, MVS has upside to be a winning captain because he's a guy that can catch a 70-yard touchdown. He can catch a deep ball, but that's just kind of like a dart throw in my opinion to go with him at captain. I think the Packers are going to crush them. Rodgers mad and take it out on Detroit. With that said, Rodgers captain. I mean, again, Ed, like I said, quarterbacks at captain, when it's not elite quarterbacks, like elite fantasy quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, normally I don't play quarterbacks at captain unless it's like those guys that have rushing upside as well. Because if Aaron Rodgers if Aaron Rodgers has a big game tonight, throws 3 or 4 touchdowns, it's a possibility that all 3 of those, or like he throws 3 touchdowns to Devonte Adams. And if that's the case, you're going to want Devonte Adams at captain, not Aaron Rodgers. So basically, if you play Aaron Rodgers at captain, you kind of want him to, obviously you need him to throw a lot of touchdowns. You also probably need him to spread the ball around. Because if he keys in on one guy, then you're going to have that one guy at captain and not Rodgers. Or you got to hope that he has like some rushing touchdowns, which is possible. But I tend to not play quarterbacks at captain unless it's, those elite guys we mentioned. What about kicker at captain? Yeah, kicker at captain, nah, can't do it. Rarely do you see kickers be the winning captain. It rarely happens. MVS or Tanyan? I would take MVS if I had to pick one. Aaron Jones or Jared Goff? That's a close one, Ant. Like, if you already have Rodgers and Adams in your lineup, then I would probably say just play Jared Goff. I don't know if you'd want Adams, Rodgers, and Jones all in your lineup. It seems unlikely all 3 of those guys are in the winning lineup unless the Packers just steamroll them, which is possible. But I would probably take Jared Goff there. Do you do Prize Picks? I do Prize Picks, yes. I'm sponsored by Prize Picks. So if any of you guys have not checked out Prize Picks and you would like to, make sure to use promo code NOAH when you sign up for Prize Picks. You can check out their board for tonight's game. You can see all that they are offering. They have a ton of props listed for tonight's game. They also have fantasy point projection for most of the players. So you can take the over or the under on players' fantasy point projection. If you see a line that you like and you want to go over or under, you can do that. But yeah, if you guys hadn't checked out Prize Picks yet, make sure to do so.
Oh, yeah.
$4.99 super chat from Maria. Thank you, Maria. No message, but I appreciate your $4.99 super chat. Thank you as always for supporting the channel. I got over passing yards on Goff, over rushing yards on Aaron Jones, over Cephas, 7 fantasy points, over receiving yards on TJ Hawkinson. I mean, I like all those, Mr. Bean. Definitely the over on Goff passing yards, over on Aaron Jones rushing yards. Cephas fantasy point projection, I kind of like the over. I'm just worried that maybe Goff just kind of spreads the ball around and like you don't see any of these receivers get a ton of targets. But Cephas, if he gets, 3 catches for 40 yards, that's 7 fantasy points right there. So, and that's easily in his range of outcomes. Great content as always. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. You like Goff tonight? Yeah, quarterbacks. I'm always going to have interesting quarterbacks on Showdown slates. I'm not saying that Jared Goff's going to go out there and just torch Green Bay tonight, but the volume that he's going to get passing-wise is going to make him playable just about every week, especially like when he's cheap. Now, on a Showdown slate, obviously he's in play. He threw the ball 57 times last week. Now, that game went to overtime, but they were trailing for a large majority of that game. They're going to be trailing for a large majority of this game, most likely. It's possible Jared Goff throws the ball 40, 45 times tonight. That alone makes him a solid option. Favorite value flex play? It's probably got to be one of these Lions receivers. I don't really have a strong lean when it comes to these guys, but Khalif Raymond, 4,400, Cephas, 3,800, St. Brown, 2,400, Benson, 1K. All 4 of these guys are in play for value. I think St. Brown might be my favorite. I think he's a rookie. He's kind of like a rookie that they drafted early on in the NFL draft last year. I don't know too much about him, but 2,400. Amon St. Brown might be my favorite Lions receiver and like my favorite value flex play. And I'm pretty sure his brother is playing in this game too, because I think Equanimous St. Brown got called up for this game for the Packers. Yeah, so Equanimous St. Brown is Amon-Ra St. Brown's brother. So you got some brother-on-brother action tonight. Maybe he tries to play good tonight to impress his brother. Who knows? What's up, Robert? What's up, my man? Appreciate you tuning in. I'm going to join Patreon. Hey, if you want to join Patreon, it's linked down below in the description. I give out core plays for all the NFL slates, the Monday Night Showdown, Thursday Night Showdown, Sunday morning, give out core plays. I have my positional plays, list off my favorite plays at each position. I highlight my core guys. All that's given out on Patreon. Also, I give out some prize picks over there as well. So if you guys want to join Patreon, it's linked down below if you want to check it out. Appreciate the video. Stay safe. Hey, thank you, Maria. Thank you. Favorite captain play? I mean, it's got to be Devonte Adams for me, Kenny. We kind of already touched on it. Devonte Adams right now is projecting as the highest owned captain, but he would still probably be my top captain overall. Just because he's just got massive upside. Like, Devonte Adams could score 35 Draftkings points tonight, and I don't think anyone would be surprised. Green Bay minus 11.5 and over 49.5. Your thoughts? I mean, I'll be honest, Wolf, I don't sports bet. I can't sports bet legally where I live, so I don't want to give sports betting advice, but I would say that if I was betting on this game, I mean, I think Green Bay wins big. Like, I think Green Bay is going to win by 2 touchdowns minimum, so I definitely like taking Green Bay 11.5. Over 49.5, that just comes down to if the Lions can put up points, because I think Green Bay is going to put up at least probably 24, 31 points themselves. It's just a matter of if the Lions can score or not. But I definitely like the Green Bay minus 11.5. What up, Noah? Dig your content, dude. I appreciate that, Forge. Thank you, my man. Glad you enjoy the content. Change the MVP to Jones. Detroit can't stop the run. I mean, yeah, Aaron Jones is definitely in play for captain or MVP, whether you're playing like DraftKings or FanDuel. I think in any lineups that you don't play Devonte Adams, you're going to want Aaron Jones in those lineups. Because in a scenario where Devonte Adams does not have a good game or Aaron Rodgers does not have a good game, that probably means that Aaron Jones is like scoring all the touchdowns. Which, I mean, could possibly happen. So I think it does make sense, like in lineups that you don't have Adams or Rodgers, probably want to make sure you have Aaron Jones in those lineups. You would need some weird shit to happen for none of those 3 guys to make the winning lineup. You got to think at least 1, if not 2 of those 3 top Packers are going to be in the winning lineup tonight. Lazard or MVS? Danny, that's literally a coin flip. So last week, Lazard wasn't targeted as much as MVS. I think MVS got 8 targets. Lazard got 4, and MVS got 8. MVS played on 63% of the snaps, and Lazard played on 68%. So they were basically on the field for like the same amount of snaps, and they both lost playing time due to the blowout. MVS is kind of the deep play guy. Like, he's a guy that can catch a long touchdown, so maybe him, but really, Danny, that's a coin flip between Lazard and MVS, in my opinion. Why would you start Devonte Adams and the captain over Rodgers to be different? I mean, that's not really being different. If anything, playing Rodgers at captain will be different. Because right now on DraftKings, at the projections that I look at, Devonte Adams has a little bit more ownership at captain than Aaron Rodgers does. It's just normally running backs and receivers tend to always be the winning captains. I think it's like, there's some data on it, but I'm pretty sure like 70, 80% of the time, a running back or a wide receiver or just a pass catcher is going to be the winning captain. Basically, I said, if Aaron Rodgers goes out there and throws 3 touchdowns tonight, what's the possibility that all 3 of those touchdowns go to Devonte Adams? I mean, it's possible for sure. And if that's the case, you're going to want Adams at captain and not Aaron Rodgers. So I tend to always play receivers at captain, receivers and running backs. That's why I'm going to prefer to go with Devonte Adams. What about Marcus or MVS for captain? I mean, MVS is a viable captain option. I don't think that I would personally be playing him at captain. If I were to have him at the captain spot, it would have to be in a large amount of lineups. Like if I was playing 150 lineups, I could see having some MVS at captain. But if I'm only playing 5 or 10 lineups, I doubt he makes my captain pool. I think on this slate, you really want to Devonte Adams, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, TJ Hawkinson, Deandre Swift. Like that's where I'm getting. That's where I would be focusing for captain. Those 5 guys. I don't think I'd really be going too much else outside of those 5. How you feel about Tanyan tonight? I don't have much interest in Tanyan. T-Money, like I think Robert Tanyan's basically touchdown or bust, just to be honest with you. He's not going to be a guy that gets like 12 targets, so you basically got to hope that of the 5, 6, 7 targets he gets, that he catches a couple touchdowns, like a couple, red zone touchdowns. If he does, he's going to be a good play, but if he doesn't catch any touchdowns, he's probably going to score like single-digit DK points. So I'm fine just not playing Tanyan and hope he doesn't catch a touchdown, because if he doesn't, you're going to be fine fading him. Is leaving 2K on the table fine? That's fine with me, Ant. Normally, on Showdown slates, you can leave $3,000, $4,000 on the table. It's a better way to make your lineup unique. As long as you're not sacrificing too much in terms of projection, like as long as you're not just making a terrible lineup, it's fine to leave $2,000, $3,000 on the table. Are you concerned with the bad weather, heavy rain, and 20-mile-per-hour wind? I'll be honest, Jannar, I haven't even looked at the weather for this game. I'll pull it up real quick. I tend to not focus on NFL weather too much unless it's like going to be a snowstorm. The weather forecast, or like on Roto-Grinders, their weather forecast says rain more likely in the second half of the game than the first, but I think the most likely outcome that the rain holds off until after the game. So the weather meteorologist that does DFS stuff, you guys all know who he is. He thinks the rain's going to hold off until after the game. So, and it doesn't seem like he's worried about wind either. So yeah, I'm not worried about weather. I'm not looking much into that. I know you don't give out your site you use for projections, but how do you feel about, have you ever used Fantasy Labs? I mean, Fantasy Labs is great, Charles. I've never paid for Fantasy Labs stuff, but they have a ton of great free content. Like I use their MLB stuff, like their MLB lineups page. It's free to use. If you guys play MLB, I mean, this is a great tool to use. Shows you the players, their prices. I've never used their paid stuff though. I mean, I'll tell you, I subscribe to Establish the Run. That's the site I've subscribed to for projections, for NFL at least. But yeah, Fantasy Labs, I mean, they got good stuff too. I'm just confused how the receiver would score more than the QB at the captain. Because, I mean, receivers, so especially on Draftkings with it being full PPR scoring, like receivers, obviously you get a point per reception. If they go for over 100 yards, you get the 100-yard bonus. Receiving touchdowns are more valuable than passing touchdowns. So, like a ceiling game for Devonte Adams is probably 8 catches, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like nobody would be surprised if Devonte Adams put that up tonight. And if he does go for that, obviously Aaron Rodgers is going to have a good game as well, because Aaron Rodgers is going to be throwing all those touchdowns to Devonte Adams. But receiving touchdowns for receivers are more valuable than passing touchdowns for quarterbacks. They're worth more points. A receiving touchdown's worth 6 points. A passing touchdown's worth 4 points. Swift is officially active. Okay, we got actives and inactives, so let's see. I mean, I just want to make sure Khalif Raymond's active, because that was the one question mark. I expected Swift to play. Deandre Swift good to go Monday at Packers. Okay. I just wanted to make sure Khalif Raymond was playing. Have you ever used LineStar? It did me pretty good for MLB. I've never heard of LineStar. Might need to check it out, though. In all honesty, do you think the Lions can take the win tonight? No. I mean, if I was betting on this game, I would be betting the Packers. I would be probably betting the Packers to cover the spread as well. I think the Packers are going to win by multiple touchdowns. For DFS though, for basically for fantasy, I'm just hoping I'm hoping the Lions keep the game close enough to where like all the starters play. I hope it's not like a 35-3 game heading into the fourth quarter, because if that's the case, we might not see most of the starters in the fourth quarter. Passing is less than receiving yards. Very true. That's also true. Okay, thanks for clarifying. No, I didn't see it that way, but now I do. Sure thing, Robert. That's what I'm here for, man. If you got any questions, I'm always here to answer them. Best stack tonight, 5-1, 3-3, 4-2. I mean, I think if there's any slate where you could play a 5-1 stack, it would be this slate. Like, if you want to play 5 Packers tonight, it could definitely work out. Like I said, if there could be a scenario where the Packers win this game 35 to 7 or something. If that's the case, you're going to need multiple Packers in your lineup, probably 4 or 5. So if you're playing, if you're playing a 5-1 lineup, if you're playing 5 Packers, you just got to hope that the Packers just run away with it, blow them out, which is possible. I tend to not force stacks in, though, for Showdown slates. I kind of just build my lineups how I build them, and if I have 4 players or 5 players from one team, then that's just kind of how it goes. Jamal Williams at captain, I don't think I can do that, Michael. I mean, he's going to be really low owned at captain. Like Jamal Williams, his captain ownership right now is 3.5%. It's not a plus EV move to play Williams at captain, but nobody's going to have him at captain. I mean, there's definitely a possibility that he gets like a couple goal line touchdowns. I think last week he had such a good game because he caught 8 balls and he had a goal line touchdown. So if you're playing Jamal Williams at captain, you just got to hope that, like, if the Lions get down to the goal line, that they bring Williams in and not Swift. Like, you got to hope that Swift doesn't get the touchdowns. And you got to hope that they utilize Williams as much as they did in the passing game last week. It is worrisome, though, that Williams only played less than 40% of the snaps last week. That's definitely a big concern, especially for a guy that's 7,200 playing less than 40% of the snaps. That's my worry with Jamal Williams. Cephas or St. Brown? Jannar, I'll be honest, if you flip a coin, like, all these all these Lions receivers suck, so I think you're just kind of just playing, I don't know. I mean, I would probably say St. Brown, I think he gets the better matchup. I think St. Brown's going to be in the slot, so he'll probably avoid, like, Jair Alexander, so that would probably make me go with St. Brown. But, like, all these Lions receivers are terrible. I don't know much about any of them. What's up, Noah? I hope you had a great weekend, my brother. Did you already cover some of your favorite picks for Prize Picks tonight? If so, I'll go back in the video. Good luck tonight. I did, Alec. I can give you a few, though. We already mentioned these. Over on Jared Goff passing yards, just because I expect the Lions to have to throw the ball a ton. Deandre Swift over on his receiving yards. He got 11 targets last week. It seems like they're going to utilize him a lot in the passing game. Obviously, in a game where you expect him to throw a lot, we might see double-digit targets again for Deandre Swift. And then over on Devonte Adams, receiving yards, just because the Lions are terrible, their secondary is terrible. Devonte Adams is really good. He's probably going to have a 100-yard receiving game at some point. It's probably going to be tonight. So those are 3 picks I do like for Prize Picks tonight, if you want to tell me. If I'm not mistaken, I think Detroit has somehow managed to cover against the Packers more than any other team in the last 10 years. Wow, that's crazy. I did not know that. I still would be betting the Packers minus 11.5. I'm doing 5 Lions and 1 Packer with Jones at the captain. Hey, that's going to be super contrarian, Mr. Bean, but in the scenario where Aaron Rodgers and Devonte Adams both bust, like I said earlier, that probably means that Aaron Jones is having the big game and he's scoring all the touchdowns. Like, there's a possibility that the Packers get to the goal line 3-4 times tonight and they just hand the ball to Aaron Jones and he scores all the touchdowns. I would say that's unlikely to happen, but if it does, yeah, that could be the winning lineup in the end. What do you think about having Goff and Rodgers in the same lineup? I'm totally fine with that, Luke. Normally, you're going to want to play at least one of the 2 quarterbacks, and it's always fine to play both quarterbacks. Khalif Raymond's also active. Okay, we got that. Good. I still haven't seen that yet, but that's what I expected. I mean, that's what I expected. Because I think he practiced in full, I think, like Thursday or Friday. He should have played, or he should have been in. It shouldn't have been questionable anyway. You like A.J. Dillon? Not really, Deshaun. Like, A.J. Dillon, I think, is going to be probably a little bit over-owned. I would rather just play some of these cheap Lions receivers over A.J. Dillon. Last week, A.J. Dillon got 5 touches. In a scenario where the Packers get a big lead, maybe they pull Aaron Jones and put A.J. Dillon in there. But, like, so last week, A.J. Dillon, he still only played 28% of the snaps. I mean, I don't want to look too much into that because I think it was a blowout. I don't think he played much in the fourth quarter. But A.J. Dillon probably only gets like 7-8 touches tonight. I'm fine just hoping that he doesn't score a touchdown or break off a long run. Because if he only gets like 7 or 8 touches, he's probably not going to do much with those 7-8 touches. You just got to hope that in the times that he does touch the ball, that he doesn't break off a long run or score like a touchdown or something. I'm hoping that when the Packers get to the goal line, Aaron Jones will be in the game and not A.J. Dillon, basically. This showdown, you need both quarterbacks. I mean, you can always play both quarterbacks, Danny. I don't know for certain if both quarterbacks will be in the winning lineup, but Aaron Rodgers should be in the winning lineup, and I think with how much Jared Goff's going to have to throw, he's probably got a possibility to be in the winning lineup as well. If I was playing one lineup tonight, I probably would have both quarterbacks, me personally. You like Cephas? I mean, yeah, Cephas is in play for me. All these cheap Lions receivers are in play. I think I would rank them St. Brown number 1, Cephas number 2, probably Raymond 3, and then Benson 4, but all 4 of those guys are playable. Monday Night Football, Noah the GOAT. Appreciate you, Horatio. Don't know if I'm saying your name right, but thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you, my man. Top captains, I mean, for me, it's got to be Devonte Adams, number 1. Probably like Deandre Swift, number 2.
Yeah.
And then I think, especially in lineups where you don't have Devonte Adams or Aaron Rodgers, definitely have some Aaron Jones captain lineups. In lineups that you don't have those other guys. Because we already talked about it earlier, the ways that Adams and Rodgers fail. You know, the way that happens is because Jones does really well. Goff at captain, I don't think I could play Jared Goff at captain. I mean, the possibility of Jared Goff being the winning captain tonight seems really unlikely. Unless he just gets like a bunch of garbage time touchdowns or something. I don't think I'd be playing Goff at captain, but he's viable. I mean, he's going to be low owned at captain. He's coming in with less than 5% ownership at the captain spot. Who should my captain be in an 11,000 person single entry? That's tough, Shy. So if you're trying to win that tournament, if you're trying to get first place, probably in single entry, I mean, you don't have to get too off the board with 11,000 people, but you might not want to play Devonte Adams at captain. Maybe like an Aaron Jones or Deandre Swift. But now, if you're just trying to cash, play Devonte Adams at captain. But I would assume if you're in a 11,000 person single entry tournament, you're trying to win first place. So getting off the board, playing like an Aaron Jones at captain or Deandre Swift at captain would probably be the way I go. You seriously trust Goff playing in Green Bay at Hards, especially being close to Jones? It's just quarterbacks, man. Like, quarterbacks just give you such a high floor. Like, what's a floor game for Jared Goff tonight? What's that? 200 passing yards, maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. We could say that's a bad game for Jared Goff. I mean, that's still 12 Draftkings points. It's just really hard for quarterbacks to go out there and just completely tank your lineup, unless you have a scenario like when the Saints or when the Packers just got absolutely destroyed. And that could happen tonight. Like, the Lions could come out here and just get absolutely destroyed, but quarterbacks just normally are so safe, it's hard for them to just completely tank your lineups. Whereas running backs, like a running back could get 20 touches and he could just be really inefficient with those 20 touches. Jamal Williams at captain, I'm not going to go there. I mean, Jamal Williams is just too expensive in my opinion. He's going to be low owned at captain, but I don't think I'm playing him at captain. He got garbage time yards and TDs last week. I mean, that is true. They were also playing from behind a lot last week. I mean, that game went to overtime, but still, even at the end of regulation, he had already had 25, 30 DK points. He got a lot of his points because they had to, they were having to throw so much, which obviously that could be the case tonight. You like Swift 9 carries at least and 33 rushing yards at prop bet parlay? I mean, 33 rushing yards, I think he definitely goes over that. 9 carries, he probably gets more than 9 carries, I would say. So yeah, I kind of like that. If you were to play a Lions player at captain, who would it be? Probably Deandre Swift. He'd probably be the first Lion that I would play at captain. Thank you for your advice. Sure thing, Shy. Sure thing. I got Jared Goff at captain because of the amount of throws, but I got Rodgers in my lineup too. I mean, I think that's fine, Space City. Again, like, quarterbacks at captain tend to not be the strategy. Like, normally, at the end of the night, I would be surprised if a quarterback is the winning captain. But yeah, I mean, there's always possibility. This shit's random. I mean, we try our best to predict what's going to happen, but in the end, we really don't know. I have Benson in over half my lineups. Am I putting too much faith in him? I mean, it depends how many lineups you're playing, Logan. Like, if you're playing 100 lineups and you have him in 50, that's probably too much. But if you're playing him in 5 out of 10 lineups, I think that's fine. But I do like Benson for value. I mean, he's 1K. It's going to be really hard for Benson to kill your lineup tonight unless he just puts up a 0. Like, even if Trinity Benson gets 3 targets, catches 2 passes for 20 yards, I mean, that's 4 DraftKings points. That's not great, but it's not going to kill you because he's so cheap. But obviously, if you're trying to win a tournament tonight, you're going to need more than 4 DraftKings points from Benson if you have him. You're going to need probably close to double digits or more than that. Cephas or Raymond, who does Alexander cover? Honestly, I don't know, Deshaun. Like, I don't get too much into wide receiver cornerback matchups. I think Raymond mainly plays on the outside. But see, I think Alexander, he'll probably only stay on one side of the field. So whatever receiver's on his side of the field, that's who he's going to cover. So the Lions, I mean, they could move their receivers all around. We don't really know what they're going to do. But Alexander's not going to shadow anyone from the Lions. Basically, just whatever receivers on that side of the field for each play, they're going to get probably shut down. Benson or Cobb? I'd rather have Trinity Benson over Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb only played like 25 or 26% of the snaps last week, and he only got like 1 target. Again, it was a blowout, but Randall Cobb's like the wide receiver 4 for the Packers right now. Have him 5 of 10. Okay, I think that's fine, Logan. I think that's fine. Gotta get back to digging this trench. Good luck, brother. Hey, good luck, Victor. Good luck, my man. I'm about to end the stream here shortly, guys. So if you have any last-minute questions, go ahead and throw them in chat. But I'm about to end the stream in a few minutes because I gotta go fix up my lineups as well. Eat some dinner. Enjoy this game. What other Packer would you roster if I'm fading Adams and Rodgers to have Jones at captain? Fading Adams and Rodgers. So I probably would go, man, maybe one of Rodgers' receivers and just hope that, Rodgers only throws like 1 touchdown and you just get like a Tanyan maybe. Like maybe if Aaron Rodgers only throws 1 touchdown tonight and it's not Devonte Adams who catches it, then you basically just got to hope that, because in the scenario where Adams and Rodgers are both really bad plays at the end of the night, it's probably because Rodgers only threw like 1 touchdown. So you basically just got to hope that you have the guy that caught that touchdown and it's not Devonte Adams or Aaron Jones, I guess. So like a Tanyan maybe, or MVS, one of his receivers, I would say. Maybe the defense, but I tend to just fade defenses on Showdown slates. Fading Raymond a bad idea? I think you can fade Raymond. I mean, I'm not confident in any of these Lions receivers, but they're all cheap, so you can just play the other ones. I mean, I don't think Raymond's going to be super popular. I don't think any of the Lions receivers are going to be super popular. I think their ownership's going to be kind of spread out. Like right now, for total ownership, let's see. So total ownership projection, Raymond's coming in at 21%, Cephas at 15%, St. Brown at 20%, and Benson at 13%. So they're all between 15 to 25% owned. So kind of just, I don't know. Play whichever ones you feel most confident in. I think St. Brown and Cephas are my favorite, but there's no confidence there. Best play under 4K, it's probably either Cephas or St. Brown. Probably St. Brown, I guess. But one of those 2 Lions receivers, I would say. Captain MVS or Lazard, I would say MVS, just because I think MVS has that big play upside. We liking Crosby tonight. I think the kickers are fine. Deshaun, normally I don't play both kickers, but one of the 2 kickers I think is fine. Normally kickers, when they're big favorites, tend to do pretty well. So yeah, Crosby should be a fine option. What's for dinner? Don't know yet. Don't know yet. I might have to go pick something up, or might have to see if my girlfriend's cooking anything. MVS sneaky for a 60-yard bomb. I mean, yeah, that's always a possibility. He's a deep play threat. In cash games, would you likely have Aaron Jones in your lineup or just Rodgers and Adams? Probably Rodgers and Adams. I think cash games, you always want to play both quarterbacks in cash games. So Rodgers, Adams, Goff, and then kind of figure out from there. Good luck, Shai. Good luck. Another FSU L. Things are much better than when I attended FSU. Yeah, God, it's so bad right now. I mean, at this point, I don't think Florida State's going to win another game this season. Like, they might literally go 0-12 or whatever. Florida State is so bad. I hate that I'm a Florida State fan because, God, we suck. Adams or MVS? Appreciate the content. Or are you talking about Lazard or MVS? I would say MVS. If you're saying Devonte Adams or MVS, I mean Devonte Adams all day. But Lazard or MVS, I would say MVS. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I got to go eat some dinner. I got to go enjoy this football game. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hopefully, I was able to answer everyone's questions. I wish you guys the best of luck tonight. Stay tuned. All the content coming out throughout the week. We'll be covering, the main slate. We'll have a video up for the Showdown slate for Thursday night. We'll be streaming Thursday night for the Showdown slate. We'll be streaming Sunday morning for the main slate. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got the notifications on. And also, like the stream before you get out of here. But good luck tonight, fellas. Good luck. Thanks for watching.